I hosted the Critic Circle Awards, and Timothée Chalamet was in the front row, okay?
Oh.
And, well, I was always sort of slightly, I could take or leave him, and sometimes I found him annoying. Anyway, I told a joke from the stage, and he laughed at it, and I fell in love with him. It was just like he laughed at my joke, and therefore he is a great actor. It's so transparently pathetic.
Come on in, Deathlings. Allow me to tear your ticket. It's Mel Gedroych welcoming you to the Afterlife's last remaining blockbuster, where the carpets are sticky and the late fees are eternal and the popcorn is huge. Tonight's top pick, it's a smash. It's the second to last screening of yet another celebrity's final flickering flick. Welcome to...
There's a wake, there's a wake.
Okay, before I reveal who's joining us in the podcast Afterlife, a quick message, if you will, from the underworld. I just want to say a really huge, heartfelt thank you to all of you glorious Deathlings who subscribe to 6 Feet Under. Honestly, your support means the absolute world. We have such a good time making this show for you and reading all those comments and emails, which are brilliantly written. If you'd like to give the show and our team of mortals a bit of extra love, you can subscribe for just £3.99 a month. It kind of keeps the deathly chaos going. It keeps us alive. Well, mostly. And it means that you'll never miss a moment of the madness. And you get a bonus ep each week. And there are 0 ads, all for the cost of a coffee at a posh cafe. I tell a lie, I spent £4.20 on a decaf cortado with almond milk. So there you go. I'm a twat. So do make sure that you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or head to wherethere'sawillthere'sawake.com for all the details. We would love you to subscribe. Now, circling back to today's guest. He's the maestro of movie dissections himself. He's one half of the elegant, the majestic, the beautiful Kermode and Mayo, a man who can unpack a blockbuster with more twists than the plot itself. Let's prise open the coffin. Like a DVD case, somebody snapped the hinge off and welcomed the brilliantly sharp-tongued
Mark Kermode, Mark Kermode, Mark Kermode.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Really nice to see you, Mark.
Nice to see you too.
We'll come on to your own death in
Okay.
a little bit, and I am truly sorry, Mark, that you've shuffled off the mortal coil. So very sorry to hear that you've gone. We'll be getting all the details. We'll be getting all the details about your funeral,
Yes.
about your wake, about your will, about all the nitty gritty in a little bit.
Yes.
But first of all, dear Mark, lovely to have you on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. Are there things that you've done in your life that make you a good candidate for getting through these little badgers? The old gates. There we are. It's a bit like, the Escalator film. I love that film.
Matter of Life and Death.
Oh, the Escalator film.
No, it's called
Oh.
Matter of Life and Death.
Matter of Life
Or
and
if
Death.
you're in America, it's called Stairway to Heaven.
But listen, back
Yes.
to the old Pearly Gates. You're there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there's a St. Peter or equivalent thereof.
See, I was listening to this program, which I enjoy very much, and I listened just a day or so ago to the episode you did with the brilliant Reverend Richard Coles.
Yeah.
The Rev Rich, as I think you referred to him.
He's such a good man.
No,
isn't he?
he's an amazing guy, and he had these reasons that were kind of funny and quirky. He was like nice to dogs or whatever it was. So here's the thing, right? Firstly, I was brought up a Methodist, and one of the things with that is you're not really allowed to argue your own case. It's like, no, you're a wretch. You are absolutely a wretch, and the only way, and if you throw yourself on the mercy of the court and just go, I am not worthy, but so you cannot really do the, well, yes, I think I should be let in because I help old ladies across the road.
Yeah.
And the other thing
It's also flexing, isn't it? It's a non-flex rule, I suppose. if you're a
although
Methodist.
weirdly, when the Reverend Richard Coles did it, he didn't sound like it was just he just sounded like, well, because he is magnificent anyway.
Yeah,
And the other thing I was thinking, and I'm sorry because this is one of the things that I do. I overthink things, like I make things much more complicated than they should be, okay? So I understand entirely the context in which you've asked me this question.
Yeah.
And And then I'm going, well, but Philip, and I went, but do I want to go to heaven? Because the thing is, as far as I can tell, heaven's going to be full of people I don't want to be with.
This is interesting.
Everyone I love, like all the great blues musicians, Robert Johnson's not in heaven, is he? I mean, all the people that made all those films that I love, they've all gone to the other place.
Do you think?
Well, no, because I don't actually believe in heaven and hell. But if we take the premise that this is what I mean about overthinking it, if we take the premise that there is a heaven and a hell,
for the purposes of this
podcast, heaven's full of Trump supporters, isn't it? Aren't they? Because it's what we hear is J.D. Vance every minute. Oh, all the trans people.
He'd be in hell. They'd all be in hell.
Well, of course he should be. But apparently they've all got they're all connected to the So it's a very difficult one. The only thing I can think of is this, and I'll give you this in the spirit of the question. When I was in my younger and more vulnerable years, to quote the opening of The Great Gatsby pretentiously, I came up with 3 rules of life, right, which I have obeyed.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
Okay.
I do this thing, but I make lists of things, right? I'm very retentive. I make lists of things, and things have to be ordered. Yeah. And I decided that when I was going to start out, you need to have rules, and I came up with three rules, and the 3 rules were: do not cheat on your partner, don't review films you haven't seen, don't be disrespectful about Elvis.
Which is the hardest of those rules, do you think?
Quite often the not being disrespectful about Elvis is the hardest one because, but no, isn't that pathetic?
I think that's really lovely. Do you like to tick things off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah. I'm a big ticker-offer. In fact, every day I'll have a little list of stuff I've got to do and I'll tick stuff off.
I used to work in an office in Manchester in City Life magazine, and there was a guy there who was a writer, journalist, and the first day I was in, I had to make tea for everybody, and so I took this cup of tea to this guy, and as I put it down in front of him, and he took a sip of it, and as I walked away, he went, "Stay there," and he turned around and he took off the wall a list of the top 10 cups of tea he had ever had, crossed out number 7. Put me in at number 7, and then had to write the 8 and 9, then put it back on the wall. Because he literally, not metaphorically, literally kept a list of the top 10 cups of tea he had ever had.
I love the way you were 7.
It's very specific.
It's brilliant. You never put milk in first. Please tell me. No, good. I think you're going to be you're a radical. You are a radical. Well, you're not going to go for the Pearly Gates thing, and I respect that. I think that's absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Mel, I was meaning to ask you actually. Did you do anything in the month of love?
Oh, I did actually. Yeah.
Wait, let me guess what you got up to. Was it chocolate-covered strawberries in the jacuzzi?
I don't have a jacuzzi. No.
Okay, so wait, did you get out your best peephole bra instead?
Oh no, peephole bra? No. Chaps? Yes. Peephole bra, no.
Wait. Did you get your other half involved? Did you, I don't know, dress him up as Napoleon, cover him in chocolate-covered paint?
He did dress up as Napoleon, but he covered himself in Caramac chocolate.
Wait, so what did you actually do then?
Well, something actually much better than that. Much, much better and much steamier.
Oh, Mel, stop it. Please stop. I'm literally heating up. Tell me what you did now. 2
words for you. Tender stem, broccoli.
I'm getting hot under the collar.
Oh, yeah, it's the perfect veg for when you're short on time but you want to make a big impression. Know what I mean?
Now that sounds like the most perfect, sublime, steamy bit on the side, Mel.
Add a packet of tender stem broccoli to your shopping basket. It's broccoli, but better. What were you eating before you died?
Well, I thought about this, and I was trying to think of a really smart, answer. And the Reverend Richard Coles, again, came up with this genius answer. And, Eric Idle was going to have egg and chips or something, which was great. The honest answer to that question is this. There is there's a chain restaurant in the middle of London, just by Piccadilly, okay? And it's not some funky little independent, right? Yeah. It's a chain restaurant, bog standard, the kind of people who are taking over and probably destroying the world, right? They do this really good vegan bolognese, okay? And I discovered this by accident, because I have to stay. I live in Cornwall. And I come into London, I come on the sleeper on the Sunday night, and I have to stay over in London on a Monday night. So on a Monday night, I love the sleeper.
Shortbread in the morning?
No, I try not to because that's the beginning. I try coffee in the morning.
Coffee in the morning.
Eat like
the little knock on the door from the train guard.
That's right.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, yeah.
It's so good. And you end up in Paddington at 6 a.m.
Yeah, well, you actually end up in Paddington at 5 a.m, but they don't throw you off until 6 a.m. So you've got an hour sleeping in Paddington. Except a couple of months ago, the sleeper got cancelled and they just put us on a train.
Oh, that's bleak.
Yeah, so I was sitting up on a train.
No, I'm not having that.
And then when the train came into Paddington, they just threw us off because it's not a sleeper.
So you were off at 5?
5 o'clock in the morning at Paddington Station.
Oh, no.
It was like 28 days later, you know. It was like the apocalypse.
With loads of people, all the train, the whole train. Just moving
Everyone's
around like zombies.
shell-shocked, kind of, looking like, I was in Penzance then.
Oh, good God. No cafes open or anything?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Anyway, so they do this vegan bolognese.
I'm trying to think which bloody chain it is.
Well, I don't want to say it because I've now said the thing, but I'll tell you.
Yeah, go on.
But no, I'll tell you when we're not recording, because he's literally, it's 50 yards from Piccadilly. Okay?
Is it Bella Italia?
No, it's so. It's like I could almost be saying McDonald's, but I'm not going to. It's not McDonald's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Fine. Anyway.
Whoa.
So, and I'm not proud. Okay. But I went in there one Monday because I hadn't eaten anything and I wanted to eat something, and I said, I don't suppose you've got anything vegan, and because I'm not a vegan, I'm a pescatarian. Okay, I am what Richard Hawley calls a fish and chipocrit. So, but if it's easier to just go, have you got vegan? And they went, well, we have got a vegan bolognese. And I went, have you really? And they went, yeah. And
is it phenomenal?
It's astonishing.
Oh my God.
It's like astonishingly good.
Is it?
And my big treat for myself is at the end of a Monday, which I'll probably do it today because I go there, and the guy who's the waiter, I know him, right? And he knows. Mark comes in, he has the vegan bolognese, he has a Pinot Grigio, he puts his headphones on, he watches a movie, and that's what I do. And they leave me alone completely. They just think, sad little man with his sad little phone and his sad little headphones and his vegan bolognese. Let him get on with it.
And do you have your own? Do they give you your own little sort of nook?
There's a booth that I really like. There's a booth.
Okay, that's lovely. Now,
so you've never seen The Exorcist, have you? Because
I've seen the one bit. That's the only bit. The
vomit.
But I can't watch The Exorcist.
No, of course.
I can't.
Okay, so The Exorcist I have obsessed about my whole life. Okay, so The Exorcist came out when I was 10 or 11, so much too young to see it. But there were I don't know whether you're younger than me, but there were news stories when it came out of, it's the most terrifying thing ever, and people are being carried out of cinemas, in St John's Ambulance and all the rest of it. And I went to see a film in the Classic in Hendon, the year that it came out. And the Classic in Hendon was a 3-screen cinema, and it was playing in screen 1, and I went to see something in screen 2. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. You could do that between screen 2 and 3, because screen 2 and 3 shared a toilet that you could go into screen 2 and then come out of screen 3, which is how the whole of my class got to see Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, because we all paid to see the Bellstone Fox in screen 2, and then we all saw Enter the Dragon. No, it was upstairs, and anyway, I would have been too scared. But as you walked into the cinema, there were literally nuns standing outside sprinkling holy water onto people going into the cinema, and a vicar handing out a leaflet, one of which I still have, because I then started collecting Exorcist memorabilia, saying, if you see this film and become possessed by the devil, call Father John on 01703 blah 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 blah, because it was I've
seen footage of that. There were placards.
It was a real thing. It's a real thing,
yeah.
And people now think it was a real thing. And I have been in a screening of The Exorcist in which somebody did pass out, and I had to carry them out of the screening room, and it was brilliant because I literally had to pull them up the stairs, because we were up in the balcony, and as they went up the stairs, their feet were doing this, and everyone was looking, going, the film's just killed him. And it was that thing about that. I guarantee you there was never, a better way of seeing a scary movie than literally seeing somebody be carried out of the screening.
Oh my God.
But the end of The Exorcist is my favourite movie, death, okay? And I'll tell you this as a plot spoiler because you're not going to see it.
I'm not going to see it.
So it doesn't matter. So the demon is in Reagan, okay? Fine, so it's very, very bad. And Father Karras, he's the psychiatrist priest, but he's the one who's going to overcome the demon. Father Merrin, who's been sent in, has died of a heart attack. So he was the one who had a previous experience with the demon. Right. So he is now on the floor, dead. Okay,
like the chap in the cinema.
Like the chap in the cinema, except he wasn't getting up afterwards. He was staying dead. And Karras, enraged, turns towards the possessed Reagan and says, "Take me, come into me," and he grabs the thing. And then in the film, he almost sort of starts fighting the demon, like hand-to-hand combat with the demon, which is not sensible. And then the demon, enraged by Karras taunting him, comes out of Reagan and goes into Karras, right? Karras then goes back. Momentarily, his face is the face of a possessed visage. And then he goes, "No!" And it goes back to his face. And then he throws himself out of the window. And then he plummets from the top of Prospect Street down what are now referred to as the Hitchcock steps, actually now referred to as the Exorcist steps, and goes all the way down the steps, right down to the bottom at M Street, where he's in a pool of blood, having beaten the demon, at which point, conveniently, his best friend, Father Dyer, turns up to administer the last rite, ego te absolvo, and he goes to heaven.
So let me get this straight, Mark. You want to be possessed by a devil?
No, I want to fight a devil. In my head and defeat it by throwing myself out of a window. You're saying I have to die. I mean, obviously, I'd rather not die, but if this is the circumstance of it, it is the most heroic movie death. You literally wrestle a demon into submission.
It is good.
First physically, then in your head, then you throw yourself out, then this is incredibly cinematic. Well, they're really long steps, like really, really long. It takes a long time to fall all the way down them.
Are you going to be filmed while doing it?
Well, I hope so.
Somebody's got to be doing it.
Yeah. And then you need the priest at the bottom.
Excellent. Now, Mark, if you wouldn't mind.
Death notices.
So this one's from Austin in Bristol. Hi, Mel, gods and goddesses. Back in college / sixth form,
right,
I enrolled in a film and media course, fully convinced I was on the road to cinematic greatness.
Great. As
part of the course, my entire class had to make one huge film together to learn how a proper film crew works. I was assigned the role of script supervisor, a job I'd never heard of, did not understand, and to this day still couldn't explain if my life depended upon it. After 3 exhausting days filming in the Lake District, rain, mud, enthusiasm, slowly dying, we got back... rain, mud, enthusiasm, slowly dying, not enthusiasm, slowly dying. Punctuation is important. We got back to school, loaded up the footage, and that's when I realised I had catastrophically messed up. Continuity... gone. Characters' outfits randomly changed, props swapped sides of the room, and at one point the weather jumps from cloudy to sunny to cloudy again in under 20 seconds. Everyone made sure I knew I'd completely fumbled my role. And yes, I'm still traumatised 5 years later. That's Austin from Bristol, not understanding what a script supervisor is meant to do.
Austin, listen, what can we say? I mean, you should have done better. Sorry. You should. The script supervisor's job on a film set is probably one of the most important, Austin. And I'm for one. No, mate, come on. Don't give yourself a hard time. It's all right.
No, I think give yourself a hard time.
Yeah,
I think that's really...
When you watch a film, you're so steeped in film. You live them, breathe them. I mean, how many do you watch a day? Probably several.
On a Monday, it will be 4. On a Tuesday, it's 4. On Wednesday and Thursday, probably 2. But screening days are Monday and Tuesday. So it's 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock.
What a lovely life.
Yeah, it's great. Best job in the world.
What a lovely life. But when you're watching a film, all these squillions of films, do you watch them from the point of view... I mean, do you ever get annoyed by things like continuity? If there's a prop that you've spotted in a scene and then it's in the wrong place, or the makeup suddenly changes, or...
Well...
Do you get bugged by stuff like that, or can you just immerse in the whole sort of experience?
So here's an interesting thing again, I'm afraid this relates to The Exorcist, and everyone who has ever listened to me knows that I will turn everything into a story about The Exorcist. So there is a moment in The Exorcist in which Karras, the guy who wrestles the demon, throws himself out the window, falls down the steps, gets absolvoed, him. When he's first interviewing Regan, he brings a tape recorder and he reaches out with one hand, and then the close-up clearly shows his other hand pressing the button.
Oh, Mark, that's detailed.
No, but here's the interesting thing.
That's detailed.
It's a deliberate mistake. And the reason it's there is this. Billy Friedkin, who directed that film, had a theory that you only notice continuity errors if the film isn't working. So he put a continuity error in, and I remember thinking, okay, that's somebody explaining after the fact that they made a continuity error, until you realize that in order to make that continuity error is quite complicated, because the guy playing Father Karras has to be in a different place to do it. It is deliberate. It is a deliberate continuity error.
Also, the poor continuity person would have been gutted.
But they will have known that that's what it was. And so that whole thing about, there was a column that used to be in Viz magazine called Mark. My surname is Kermode, which is a Manx name, which is it's a derivation of McDiarmid, and it's pronounced literally like Kermit properly. So I always say to people, it's like Kermit the Frog, but people still say Kermode. So in Viz magazine, they had Mark Kermode, Commod, which is fine. It's Viz, it's fine.
I've forgotten.
Mark Kermode's movie bloopers, and it was always something like, in this film is set in 1920 and it's in colour. Well, they didn't invent colour until 1945. Or in Free Willy, the scene in which the whale finally jumps over the thing. If you look closer, you realise that the whale is wearing a digital watch. It's all that kind of because there is the sort of the nonsensical. For heaven's sake, is that what you're spending your time doing? Watching that, but it's generally, if a movie is really engrossing, you can get away with it, and exactly.
Yeah. I wonder which number watching of The Exorcist you finally spotted that, or did you watch it?
I never spotted it. I only found out about it because I read an interview with Billy in which he pointed out I never spotted it. It never ever occurred to me. And then when you see it, it's so obvious. But like obvious, like literally obvious, deliberate. They've done that on purpose. He reaches out with one arm and then it's the other hand, and you'd have to have moved the actor around to do it.
Yeah, and relit it possibly.
Exactly. So it is absolutely 100% proper.
I might have to watch The Exorcist just for that moment.
Can I say, if you don't like horror films, then don't, because it will put you in hospital.
I feel like God, really?
Yeah, no, it's really scary.
Yeah. No, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I've been watching and really enjoying the latest Lisa McGee thing. She wrote Derry Girls, Heaven to Belfast, Belfast to Heaven, Heaven to Belfast. Anyway, and that is schlocky, camp, funny murder mystery. Even scared by that, Mark.
Yeah.
Even scared by that.
Don't watch The
Exorcist. I think I might leave to the professionals, like your good self. Thank you very much, Austin, for getting in touch. It's always great to hear from you. It's always nice when somebody says something nice about you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love compliments. I'm a complete sucker for them. I did a thing the other day. I did the Critic Circle Awards. I hosted the Critic Circle Awards, and Timothée Chalamet was in the front row. Okay, and I was always sort of slightly, I could take or leave him, and sometimes I found him annoying. Anyway, I told a joke from the stage, and he laughed at it, and I fell in love with him. It was just like he laughed at my joke, and therefore he is a great actor. It's so transparently pathetic.
I saw him actually. He was queuing up for some takeaway food on Portobello Road, and he seemed like a really nice chap.
He seems like he's about 5.
Yeah, he seemed very sort of chilled and wasn't looking for people to sort of recognise him or no.
Well, I mean, but like I said, I am a sucker for a compliment.
Right. Let's just wallow in some. Well, I hope this is going to be complimentary.
Well, what an excellent day for a funeral. And it's good to see so many of you here, particularly so many Patreon subscribers here at the front with the soft seats and goodie bags. It isn't too late to upgrade, of course, if you can't see very well where you are and you want a better view of proceedings graveside. Just click on the link in the app or use the QR code on the running order or order of service. When times are tough and emotion is running high. It's so great to have Holy Scripture, to fall back on sacred texts that can bear our burden. So as the King has sung, so we repeat. And if you can join in the do-bat-baps. Well, I know when he calls me to my home on high, I'll walk dem golden stairs when I die. Oh Lord, you know I can hardly wait, do-bap-bap, to reach that sweet and by, do-bap-bap, do-bap. And now I see those pearly gates. I'll walk dem golden stairs when I die. Amen. And Mark is walking those golden stairs right now, and still wearing those dirty black elasticated shoes he loves so much. And one final prayer. Ego te absolvo, quod nomen mihi est, bonjour, quod nomen mihi est, la plume de ma tante. Thanks for coming. This has been a Sony Music Entertainment production.
Nation's
So
favourite.
good.
Nation's favourite.
Can I please see the shoe again? He knows you so well, in the words of Barbara
dirty
Dixon.
black elasticated shoes that I love. Do you know why? I've got size 14 feet. It's really hard to get shoes that fit. So, and they are dirty because I live in Cornwall, and so I've got, it's.
They're lovely, though.
Oh, thank you.
They're very nice.
Just an interesting thing about that. So that was Simon Mayo, as you probably noticed, the nation's favourite broadcaster. With him, I do Kermode and Mayo's Take. And what's interesting about that is two things, right? So that was technically a eulogy, which barely mentions me, firstly, but secondly, because you haven't seen it, you wouldn't have got it. So you share with Simon Mayo the fact that you haven't seen The Exorcist, right? He hasn't seen The Exorcist.
But he
made not one, three oblique Exorcist references in
steps.
that. So there's the thing. There's what an excellent day for a funeral is what an excellent day for an exorcism, and then the ego te absolvo, which is the thing from the end.
He's clever.
But he also did. He said quid nomen mihi est. And bonjour, quid nomen mihi est, la plume de ma tante, which is with the scene in which Father Karras wants to see whether Regan can speak Latin because that is a sign of possession. And he says, quid nomen mihi est, and she says, la plume de ma tante.
Oh no, don't do that. Is that how she talks? It is, isn't it? She goes, oh no, Mark.
But he hasn't seen the film. So I don't know how he knows that.
He's clever, isn't he? And does he not want to see the film because he's a bit scared like I am?
He now doesn't want to see the film because he finds it funnier if he doesn't see it. Because if he saw it, it would sort of spoil the fact that his favourite film is Amadeus, which I've seen, a lot, and do a lot of quoting, too many notes, Your Majesty, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But my favourite film is The Exorcist, and he hasn't seen it, and the joke would stop being funny if he had.
I get it.
And actually, when I was listening to that, I was wondering whether he sneakily has seen it, but I'm sure he hasn't.
I don't think he has.
No, I don't think he has. I think he's. I don't know how he'd know that because the quid nomen mihi est, that's an obscure Exorcist reference, but he knows that I would have got it. So
Mayo, absolute quality. A great eulogy.
Although
could have had a bit more about you.
A bit more about me. A bit more about, or even something about me, or even.
Yeah, it didn't do anything about your good qualities, did it? No,
or that he would miss me, or that I was nice to work with, or. None of those things.
Well, Mayo came up with some pretty pithy stuff there. Mark, how about your good self? I suppose in keeping with The Exorcist, even now I'm talking about The Exorcist, as if I've seen it.
It's kind of catching, isn't it?
Yeah. But in keeping with The Exorcist and your kind of Exorcist-style exit, what would your last words be?
There is this whole thing about the last words. It has to be something because Oscar Wilde's last words were reportedly the wallpaper's killing me and one of us has got to go, or or
Bugger Bogner.
Or what?
Somebody said Bugger Bogner. Was it one of the Bugger Bogner?
I didn't know that. The other one was that Oscar Wilde, after the doctor had visited him and gave him a bill, and he said, "I'm dying beyond my means." So there's there's the whole thing about the
funny
the very witty
aphorism.
thing, yeah. And then there's all the thing about greatest last lines in movies, like Nobody's Perfect, or This is the Beginning of a Beautiful Friendship, or Hang on lads, I've got a great idea. All those things. You would love
Tomorrow's Another Day.
Tomorrow's Another Day. You would love to think.
I want those to be my last words.
Tomorrow's Another Day.
Yes.
Except that.
Oh, she didn't say them.
No, except as you know, as we know from the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the last thing people say is if you be found in the castle of but so I was that whole thing about the significance of the last thing that somebody says is, there's a great truth to it. And I'm wearing this T-shirt in honor of this. So this is Kurt Vonnegut.
Everything was beautiful
and nothing hurt. So that's
a good way to go out.
It's a Vonnegut line, which is. But my family got me this T-shirt. It was one of two T-shirts that they got me for Christmas recently. I'm a big Vonnegut fan. I absolutely love Kurt Vonnegut, and so they have made up with these Vonnegut quotes on them. And
I love the sound of your family, Mark.
Oh, so I love the sound of my family too. They're great. They're fab.
Really great.
But that thing about, is it meant to be ironic because the novel that it's from is really about the kind of horror of war and all that stuff. But it's one of those sort of lovely things that you'd like on your gravestone. And in the book, it's on a gravestone. But then I was thinking about that thing that I said before about, all the wrong people are going to be in heaven. And so I think that probably the thing that I would like to be my last words were, it's been great. I'll see you in hell.
That's good. That's good. I like that. It's been great. I'll see you in hell. Slightly kind of some sort of chapter of a motorbiking.
Oh yeah.
Hell's Angel. It's quite Angel, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to be in the J.D. Vance place.
No, fair dues. Brings us very nicely onto this last bit of business, Mark, that we must do before you go. Thank you so much for dropping by the way.
Thank you.
Anyways, brings us on to this. You were probably wondering, where's Mark going to end up? Yeah, is he going to go, or we know where he wants to go, but let's see. I'm going to ask you now, Mark, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Spin, 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 spin for your sins.
And if you do care to join us, if you have subscribed already, tick. If you haven't, you know how to do it. Apple Podcasts, or go to wherethere'swillisawake.com to see where Mark ends up. Join us. You're listening to Where There's a Will, There's a Wake with Mel Gedroych. The senior producer's Charlie Morrell, and the producer is Naya Dio, otherwise known as the Goddesses. The assistant producer's Rani Prescott. The engineer is Matthias Torres. Music by the Rathbones. The production coordinator is Eric Ryan, and the executive producer is Ollie Wilson.